The Wiltshire Parent Carer Council is a voluntary organisation, managed and run by parent carers for parent carers. We offer a special consultation and participation service which enables parent carers to have a voice about services and support their children and families receive. Years ago, Wiltshire was providing services for disabled children, but they weren't easily accessible, and not enough children were able to access the services, and families didn't know that the services existed.
Traditionally, short breaks were provided through the children's disability teams, and places were only offered to those children who either had very complex needs or where families had reached crisis point. But the number of services or places they were able to offer families were limited because they were provided through the social work teams, and it cost more to use social work teams to come and provide services.
Wiltshire ran a lot of services. There were services you could access if you wanted to travel.
What I've found in accessing funds for my special needs child is that the forms are often very long to fill in, really quite depressing. They stress all the negative aspects of your child's development. It's very difficult as a parent to fill that in time after time.
The problem is anxiety amongst, trying to access any clubs or anything like that where there's a lot of people.
Right.
It just proved a no-go.
So the services did exist, but you had to jump over hurdles and through hoops, having assessments, home visits from your social worker, continually being assessed for your need, and really places were only offered to those families that either had children with very complex needs or families that had reached crisis point. Not enough, not in the right places, not doing the right activities. So how do we go about transforming short breaks in Wiltshire?
Parents formed the backbone of the consultation process right from the very start, and the results of the consultation process have formulated what is now the local offer.
I will have been asked, what was I looking for? I've replied. I did a bit for a newsletter. Because it does work, it's fab. We love it.
Oftentimes when it's difficult for childcare, it's almost impossible in fact to consult. What's been very useful in this case is that a lot of the consultation I've been able to give has been via email, which means that at 11 o'clock at night I can give my opinion on something. We've been able to have a voice as parents. We were given the opportunity of saying actually, what were we looking for? We get a lot of feedback, we know what's coming up, we can give our say on things.
The result of parents participating has meant a cultural shift in thinking in Wiltshire.
What Aiming High for Disabled Children has done has focused our minds on the importance of giving children and young people positive, enjoyable experiences, the same as other children without disabilities experience, and that's been a cultural shift for us.
Working together so effectively has transformed short break services in Wiltshire, including targeted services and the new local offer.
Targeted services are short breaks which are designed to meet the needs of those young people who require additional support. These include bridging projects, the National Autistic Society Youth Clubs, the Sports Development Scheme, which includes the wheelchair basketball, computer animation clubs and drumming.
Peer mentoring was a need that's been identified by a lot of our parents for a long time, but the discussion was how do we actually launch peer mentoring and what service do we run it through, and over time I think it's become clear that with these young people accessing bridging projects, then probably running peer mentoring through the bridging projects makes a lot of sense, because then they're going to link up, they're going to make those relationships. Which is why the funding went in, really, to get the peer mentors off the ground through bridging projects.
Well, I'm a peer mentor because I saw over Facebook that their older sister was looking for someone to sort of help them out a bit, and then I got interested because I like going out and doing normal teenage bits and bobs, and I thought, well, maybe they could join in meet some of my friends, they'd make new friends.
And it could be the simplest of things, you know, young girls just going off to the nail bar for half an hour. They don't want to go with some 60-year-old woman to do that. They want to go with similar aged people, and peer mentoring will really enable that to happen.
The Wiltshire local offer means that families have a choice of how they access a short break. Depending on the age of the child or young person, choices available under the local offer include funded sessions at a district specialist centre or early years setting, a local offer payment of £600, inclusion support funding of £600, or 90 hours of regular activity clubs through Barnardo's.
Barnardo's offer regular activity clubs on weekends, evenings and during the school holidays, using a range of venues including schools, youth and community buildings, Barnardo's in Trowbridge and leisure centres where appropriate. Service is currently being developed so that clubs such as the Explorers and Adventurers clubs and holiday schemes will be available across Wiltshire for children and young people in 2 age groups, 8 to 14 and 13 to 17.
So what's your favourite thing that you like doing here?
Art, cooking and basketball really. We sometimes go swimming, sometimes go to the park.
She loves coming here, absolutely loves it. She can't wait to get out of bed in the morning.
Yeah, I think the balance is quite right. I think they're very supportive, but at the same time they challenge our young people as well to do things maybe they've never done before. But I think they've pitched it right, the support and the challenge you know, that they give.
Well, it almost is like a youth club.
Well, it is.
It's not like you could throw them in at the deep end mainstream youth club.
No.
Maybe. It's like a youth club, but more tailored to their needs, if
Absolutely,
you know what I mean.
yeah.
So, yeah, it's just like any normal young person's club with an added element, if you like.
Yeah.
Inclusion funding provides a specialist person to attend the group with the child, giving them the support that they need while they're attending a mainstream group. There is the choice. I think that's the important thing, that there is a choice for families who don't feel confident and don't wish to take the cash payment. We have this service that is available to them through the local authority, and it makes sure that no child loses out on attending a leisure centre or leisure activity, because we can support them if it's necessary.
The local offer payment has been really popular with families because it enables them to organise a short break to meet the specific needs of their child. Families are using the local offer payment for peer mentors, trips out, one-to-one swimming lessons, riding, anything that meets the needs of their child or young person and their families.
And we wanted the girls to be able to do an activity where they would feel like teenagers, where they could do teenage activities. And as parents, we were looking for a mentor.
I can't go to the park on my own because the cars can't see the cars far away.
And when I got all the information and I had the money, it just made it so easy to think what I wanted and ticked all the boxes for him as well. So that
having that funding yourself enables you to do horse riding, which is specifically good for my son because it really helps his core strength.
He's got the help and guidance that he's needed, and it's helped him with his walking, helped him with his talking, helped him with the social side of things, which has then helped him to move into a mainstream preschool as well. It's given him the confidence to go himself. It's something that we feel has really, really helped Ollie, and it's encouraged us to feel that he can do that.
Well, with the short breaks, it helps with me because without them, I never got to spend any time with my mum because Mum always had to look after Will, and now with the short breaks, she gets to take me to football and everything, and sometimes I need help with my homework, so she can do that instead of helping Will all the time. Will, stop it.
Would I say it's cost effective? We have made the most of it.
by giving families control of a budget like this, you know, from what I've seen from speaking to people, and certainly in our experience, the money is carefully spent, and you get real value for money. You know, and it's got to be cost effective, because I'm not speaking to admin people and secretaries and bookings people that all have to be paid for.
That keeps our well-being going, which means we draw less on other council services, don't we? You know, while the children are engaged and happy, while we're able to work, we're not using the health service because we're all fine and dandy, and you know, we're not using social services because actually we're able to cope very well as a family.
So I don't know how you could centrally provide services for families that don't just have children with Down syndrome, but children with a whole range of needs in such a wide area. You know, if you can give the funding to parents, they can set up what they need, organise it, spend it wisely, and use the money.
A really exciting year for us all. Aiming High has brought about a culture change in the way we work together. And whilst there's always been services in Wiltshire, the local offer has increased opportunities tenfold and has made such a difference to families. We really can't let this go.
It's given parents and families confidence to actually get out there and look for activities that are suitable and accessible for their children. It's giving these young people a social life, which a lot of them weren't having before. A big aspiration is to ensure that everything that we've achieved so far is sustainable, because the worst thing we can do for these families is set up high expectations, improve services for them, and then pull the rug from under their feet. A lot of our families were in crisis point or near to crisis point, and a lot of things that have been put in place through Aiming High and Short Break Transformation has really helped change families' lives, and the last thing we want is for those families to be put back into crisis point again, because the services are just not there for them.
But the local offer is enabling families to have a choice, have options and flexibility in the short break that they choose that best meets the needs of their disabled child or young person and their family.
So it's meeting the needs of the geography of the county. We can't possibly, as a council, provide leisure opportunities and sporting opportunities and dance classes and karate clubs and whatever everywhere across the county. But we can, by giving money to families, enable them to access the universal services that already exist there.